Welcome to the Dave Pamah Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Pamah.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Pamah Show. And today we have an incredible guest, Dr. Jann Blackstone. She's a leading expert in child custody, co-parenting, and stepfamily mediation. As the founder of Bonus Families and the author of several books, including Etiquette for Parents and the Bonus Family Handbook, she has dedicated her career to helping families navigate the tricky waters of divorce and remarriage with the respect and cooperation. Dr. Blackstone, it's a pleasure to have you here. Welcome to the Dave Pamah Show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. Pleasure to have you here. So let's start this. Let's start this with co-parenting. Co-parenting can be one of the most toughest challenges after a separation. So what's the biggest misconception people have about making it work?
That you have to heal the relationship between the parents first before they can get along for the sake of their children. And I always tell parents that while you're working on your stuff to try to get along better, your kids are getting older by the minute. And it really has nothing to do with your ability to parent your children. Right, so you really have to, and based on that, what I try to work with parents is move forward and create a completely different relationship with each other than ex-lover, ex-wife, ex-husband, ex-person, because nobody likes their ex. I mean, some people do, but in their mind, they don't think about them as the ex. They think about them as a former person that they used to be with. I mean, but that whole premise of being an ex is negative. So I try to talk to them about, okay, we're going to call each other co-parents, or my child's mother, or my child's father. And we're going to refer to each other as that and create a completely different relationship, because the old one's over and you can't change it. And truthfully, when you break up, you can't say you're sorry enough. You know, how everybody, that's not enough. So you got to change it, move forward, and create another relationship.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. But repairing sometimes can be very difficult, especially if you're going through a divorce mode. I mean, I did mention separation, I think, but with that separation could be talking about divorce and saying this is mine, that is mine, or whatever. I don't know, and it depends on how you were separated as well. So it might be very amicable still, or it could be, you know. I mean,
well, do you think your kids care about all that?
No, not at all. No,
they don't. And if you're going to use your kids as the premise for all of this decision making, which is what I suggest people do, because it makes it so much easier to get along. If you're both, whenever you have some sort of relationship, and what's really important about that relationship is your mutual interest. And your mutual interest in this case is the children. Yeah. So if you're thinking about that instead of what you've done to me, what I did to you, who I met, all that stuff, and your children don't care who's right or wrong. They just want, well, unfortunately or fortunately, the way you look at it, is they want their parents to be together and stop fighting and resume to good things.
Well, it depends, because if the child was involved in certain things and don't want to be with one of the parents that's probably separated, then that they might not want to be.
Of course. You mean, sure. Of course. I mean, I have to speak in generalities because I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No. And you're really talking about.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes that's right. I was going to throw in something else there just now when
throw me something else.
Yeah, I was while I was going to talk about that. But really, you're talking about do it for the child's sake. That's what you're saying. Most people say, let's do it for the child. Yeah.
Well, exactly. But what else are you going to do? I mean, like I said, you can't heal the situation. You guys have already lived. I mean, a lot of us haven't already lived our life. I don't really want to put it like that, but the choices we make are for us. And at this point, when you decide to get a divorce, sometimes it's for the children, of course, if there's domestic violence and you have to get yourself out of that situation or whatever it is. But really, after you split up, if you both make the decisions for the children and not your own self-interest, then it's just going to make it easier to make the decisions and move on.
Yeah, I'd certainly say agree with that. I think what came to my mind, what I forgot about, was conflict doesn't help. So conflict between the parents or conflict in front of children, in either way, wouldn't help the child anyway.
Ongoing conflict, there's all sorts of studies, really affects children in ways that you don't even think it does. It actually, in younger children, it affects their brain development because of the stress. And so if you think about it, I always tell parents, you're affecting their brain structure.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Stop the nonsense.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
And we all think we don't fight in front of our children, but we all do. And so one of the things that I tell people to do is to stage an apology. Because even if you're together, and this happens with bonus families, where parents are remarried, or even in a relationship with your current spouse. If you're arguing in front of the children or raising your voice, that's going to make them uncomfortable. So what parents do normally is they go into the bathroom, they close the door, they go out in the garage, or they go into their bedroom. And if you don't think your child's standing at the door listening, they are. But anyway, what I tell parents to do is stage an apology when you come out, because most of the time kids don't know how you worked through it. How did you work through that argument? People will go away because they're told not to argue in front of their children and don't demonstrate how they work through it. So the kids think my mom and dad are crazy. I mean, what's going on here? So when you come out or when you solve it, say to each other, you know what, honey, I should not have said that to you like that. I should have said it like this. Please accept my apology. Now, people are going, oh my God, really? But now what you've taught your child is how to apologize, how to accept responsibility. And then it's there are other parents' responsibility to say, you know what, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that you said that. So now you've taught them how to accept an apology.
Yeah. No, great. I mean, obviously, apologizing, getting kids to say apologize anyway, because they're always fighting with their own peers anyway, aren't they? And everything. Well, I mean, mine's only 10, nearly 10 years old, but even as teenagers, even more so.
She looked older than that.
Oh, really? Yeah, she has grown a bit. Just to let everyone know who's listening, she did have a glimpse of my daughter earlier offline when we had our pre-show chat. But yeah, she did grow. She has grown considerably already. So
isn't it funny? You don't really realize that how much time has gone by. I remember looking at my daughter at 4 and going, "Oh my gosh, 4 years has gone by."
Yeah.
And now I look at them and I don't want to tell you how old they are.
I'm looking back because obviously a lot of stuff happened during the pandemic, and wow, that's 5 years ago. So you sort of look back and think, wow, go on, no, there you go.
The pandemic lasted for way longer than they said.
Yeah, that's right. I thought it was going to only be 3 months, actually. Then it was 6 months, and then it was like, this is going to drag on.
3 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they also predicted, and professionals predicted, that it was going to be another baby boom because everybody was locked up together. And essentially what it was divorce or breakups went up.
What I was going to say, yeah.
Right.
And this is specific to what we're talking about now, because now you can't get away from that. The kids are going to be around all that stuff that we're talking about, aren't they?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So. A lot of people use the pandemic to not share the children properly as well, to be
honest.
Really?
Oh, okay. Because they couldn't get out.
Can't go to dad's house because grandma lives there. So you stay here. And they didn't look for any ways to share the children, or they prevented them from going back and forth. And we all found how that affected us was not positively.
Yeah. Yeah, we could go on forever with that topic as well, couldn't we? But having said that, people did actually, it's one of the first things they said as soon as they announced a lockdown, the first ever one before it even happened. And I noticed I was staying in the Philippines at the time, but I was dividing my time between UK and Philippines. Right. Yeah, so that's where his daughter's mother's from. But I was hearing people saying it from all over the world, because obviously I was online, my podcast exploded and just became popular, because obviously Netflix and podcast was only a name then, wasn't it? But now it's like a huge thing.
It was actually, we locked down right around St. Patrick's Day. in
Yeah,
2020.
that's right.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
right
Yeah, it was
around this time,
March.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so each country had their kind of overlap of different times, and yeah,
Ah,
it
good
was.
point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was like that, yeah. But I do
Hmm.
remember the American one. It was really, really a huge business. But I do remember the Italian one because so many people was dying, and that was the first
Oh,
ones.
that was
That and
awful.
Greece,
Yeah.
I think it was one of the first ones where they started doing it because of the, you know,
Well, that's one of the reasons when I
amount of.
started writing the book too, was because I worked for the court system just right before that, and they asked me to start work. At least the county that I used to work for, they
Mm,
asked me to start working with clients for co-parenting because people were locked up and they had no tools. And all co-parenting really is education. If you
mm.
know that when you know better, you do better. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. No, no, of
And
course, yeah.
that's pretty much what the Bonus Family Handbook is all about.
Ah,
It's
okay.
just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
education. And I
yeah.
started out in co-parenting, and then I just moved through the process. I asked myself a question about co-parenting, and then I thought, okay, I just answered them all the way through the book till we got to the end, which was holidays and things,
Mm.
and dealing with the extended family.
Yeah,
Because
extended family. Yeah, yeah. That's
like your ex's mother and father, like your children's
No, I know
grandparents.
what you mean. Yeah, yeah, that's
Sure.
right. Yeah, just where they don't see them in the nuclear kind of setting that you're in, which is mum, dad, brother, sister,
Yeah, a mom
basically,
and dad, but then you've got your new partner's
and new partner.
parents,
Yeah, that's right.
your
Yeah.
new
So,
partner's parents. That's an extended family to which your
oh, of
children,
course. Yeah, of course. Yeah,
so
yeah.
now we've gotten, if you look at a
Step
picture of
brother, step sister, that kind of thing, because they might not be in the same family in unit, So,
bonus
yeah,
brother-in-laws.
bonus. Well, you often talk about replacing the term step parent with bonus parent. So, what?
Okay.
Why is this shift in language so important, and how can it change the dynamic in blended families?
Well, I think everything is what you think about. Everything if you think about how much you hate somebody before you talk to them, you're going to not be able to problem solve because you want to twist their head
Mm.
out. But
Yeah, no, no,
but
yeah,
and it's the same premise with step. Is my children felt that when they introduced me as their stepmother, my bonus kids, that their friends automatically didn't like me,
yeah,
or she didn't like me, and that wasn't the truth. And her mother also, when she would introduce me as the kid's stepmother, that didn't go over well. So we together, my bonus kid's mom and I sat down and looked for another name. We all identify by different cultures like to be called different things, and in that particular case, I didn't like being called a stepmom. My
Mm.
kids did not like being called stepkids.
All right.
So,
So, what was
we
it?
just
Bonus mum? Was it?
well, we sat there. We were watching my bonus daughter play basketball, and we're just sitting in the bleachers. Her mom and I going, okay, what's a good name? And we're just throwing out stuff, the new whitening brightening formula of mom,
Yeah,
and everything we came up with was insulting to her mother
yeah,
because mother is the first, and also didn't take me into consideration because I was working really hard at this. So bonus is a reward for a job well done. When you're
yes.
out sales, you get a bonus if you
Hmm.
meet quota, and it's an extra. It's not in place of. And one of the most important things about this whole concept is not replacing the parents with the bonus parent. It's
You're
a
right.
collaborative effort. You can't have too many people be in your kid's corner.
No, yeah, of course, no.
When you get in the position of comparing our house to your house, this person to that person, you're going to have a problem. So we look for ways to include everyone and positively. And that's what the book's all about, is how to be collaborative. It's just
Yeah,
tools.
yeah.
Tools.
Collaboration is a great thing to look at as well. And I
Mhm.
do look at that in my resilience work. And of course, as an ex-firefighter, we had to collaborate, and teamwork was obviously a big thing. I know it's a slightly different thing, but it's still collaborating, because even
Well,
off,
even in the workplace, that's where
yeah,
I
the
learned a
workplace.
lot
Yeah.
of the tools is being a mediator in business. And,
Mm,
you look for the mutual interests when you're trying to bring people together.
mm.
The communication, you use the proper words in order to be understood and understand. There's also sorts of things that go into it. And the book has scripts. of
Yeah, of
parents.
course. Yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, no,
as
no.
scripts, say this, don't say this.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
But you don't
yeah.
have to use them as literal canned scripts. You could actually adjust it to your situation,
Well,
couldn't you?
I hope they adjust it. Yeah,
Yeah. I
but
mean,
I'll
some,
give you an example real
go,
quick.
yeah, please.
Um,
Yeah.
3 words will set people off. If you say would instead of could, I mean, if could instead of would, could you pick up, what's your daughter's name?
Angel.
Angel. Could you pick up
Yeah.
Angel at 4 o'clock? Now, if I said that to you, would want to say yes, but in the back of your mind, you're also saying, well, I got to go do this. I got to do that. And if you're not used to agreeing with the person who's asking, like her mother,
Yeah.
you'll finally get around to saying, okay, but she was asking you by saying could. Is it a
Yeah.
possibility? Is it a
Right.
possibility? Okay.
Right.
And of course it's a possibility, but I got other things to do. This is your time.
Yeah.
If she said, Dave, would you please pick up Angel at 4 o'clock? Now she's asking you for a favor. And you're more likely to say, sure, I'll be there at 4.
Right,
I may be a few minutes late, but I'll do
So
my
it's just
best.
that slight tweak in languaging that really changes the
In your
whole
mind,
thing.
you know that could is possible, would is a favor. The other one is perspective. When people look at things differently and they don't see it eye to eye, they'll call you a liar. You're lying.
Yeah, of
You're
course, yeah.
lying.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Well, it happened that way to me.
Yeah.
So as soon as you call somebody a liar, you're off to the races. Even if they
Yeah.
were lying, they will defend themselves to then
Of
defend their
course,
own.
yeah. That
So,
will exacerbate the situation. Throw
exactly.
more fuel into the fire, pardon the pun,
Exactly.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I didn't
You know
realize
what I
you were a firefighter.
Oh, right,
My
yeah.
father-in-law was a firefighter.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, yeah. So she knows exactly. Yeah,
Yes, I know the whole lifestyle.
Oh, you know the whole lifestyle. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, this is my lifestyle now anyway. So I just sort of got on with my fitness. I did some sports. I did track. I carried on doing track from, being good at it from school, and just
Well, there you go.
did
Well,
it
you gotta
socially
stay-
for the
yeah.
fire service and things like that. But
Well, you have to be healthy in order
you have to be
help
healthy.
other people too.
Well, that's
Listen.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've worked with countless families in difficult situations yourself. So, is there a particular story or moment that stands out where you saw a real transformation in people, how people approach co-parenting?
Yes, and the book has lots of stories. That's really what I'm a storyteller about this type of thing. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you, and I've talked about this one in another podcast, but it's one of my favorite stories. I was still working for the court system, and what people will do oftentimes is wait.
Oh, are you
until
a bit background as a lawyer? Is it? Or
No,
you mean
mediator.
as a mediator?
Mediator.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Psychology. Yeah.
Oh, of course, because the courts. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. They're attached with the court system in terms of
There
get
you
mediation
go.
first and things like that. Yeah. No, I know what
Yeah.
you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't like doing therapy, quite frankly. I preferred mediation. So
Yeah, of course.
I like bringing people together.
Yes.
So in this particular case, I was working as a child custody mediator. And what people do is they wait until court, and then they just unload on their former partner or their child's other parent. Unload on them. This is what you do. We are and the other person's like, oh my God. And so that's what happened in this time. And it just so happened that these parents were older, in the sense that I used to see kids that were in their 20s. For me, that's a kid. Because that's who's having babies and having problems.
Yeah.
And I would see people, obviously everybody was in conflict because they were breaking up. This couple had met at a party, one night stand, didn't know each other. The mother was 38, the father was 34.
Right.
And it was the only children they had, and they'd never been to get married or in a serious relationship. So they really didn't know each other, and they had twins, and the twins were 9 months old, and they were sharing them equally from the day they were born.
Oh.
And since they didn't talk, the children would go to dad's, and dad was afraid to keep these. They were both girls, little girls.
Right.
He was afraid to keep them really clean, get in there and make sure they were really clean, because touching them and all the the propaganda stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I understand. So the children would go back to mom, and she'd be freaking out because, these kids are going to get UTIs because they didn't, he's not cleaning them properly, and they're not sleeping. And the father was doing his absolute best. And she goes, I think this father should go to a doctor and have the doctor teach him how to clean a little girl. And I looked at her and I said, why don't you? Why don't you? You're the mom. He's the dad. Why don't you spend a little more time with him and show him how to clean your babies? And her face just went, I can? And I went, yeah, you're the mommy.
Yeah.
And he starts to cry.
Well, you just gave me a little tip myself, actually. So I'm going to have to get someone to talk to Angel's mum.
Yeah.
Have a good word with her about that. But not that nothing's up. I'm just saying, in general, it's about,
actually, you don't think about if you're estranged, you don't realize that it was her job, his job.
Yeah.
To take care of the babies, not a doctor, not the court system.
That's right.
And he started to cry right there in my office. And he said, they're my babies too. Why did you have to wait until we get to court to tell me all these things? She was saying that he doesn't put them tight enough into the car seat and they're going to get hurt. And I had to say, okay, look at him. He's 6'4".
Yeah.
You're 5'2".
Yeah.
She said, you got to put your hand between the child and the car seat. And I mean, the strap. And I said, look at his hand. Look at yours. He's doing the best he can. And all of a sudden she realizes the shift. And she goes, I should be showing him, huh? And now they're crying and I'm crying. Everybody's crying, but she got it right there. She got it right there. And she looks at him and she goes, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And they started making plans right there about how to meet, how to talk, not how to reconcile, because they never really had a relationship, but how to work together for these babies. And it was a turnaround right there. As soon as she understood, it was up to her to share and him to share information so they could be the best parents they could be.
Fantastic. As I said,
and it was a mental shift. It was the mental shift. She got it.
That's fantastic. I've picked up some things here as well myself, just from what you're saying as well. But of course, mine hasn't gone to court or anything like. It's not that situation for me, and we could be getting back together like mediators do, So it's a different thing.
Call me.
Yeah. So I better,
if there's a possibility,
take heed. Take heed.
If there's a possibility, reconcile.
You go for it. It's kind of thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well. This has been such a valuable conversation, Dr. Blackstone. Your insights on co-parenting and blended family are so important for anyone navigating this journey. So for those who want to learn more, they can check out the Bonus Family Handbook and visit bonusfamilies.com. I think I've got that right. Is that right?
You do. It's plural. Yeah. Families. And you can get a hold of me there. My email's there, and I'll do my best to answer everybody who writes.
Fantastic.
I know it sounds like that's one time I was on a television, actually it was Oprah, and I got 1,200 emails. So I'll do my best, everyone.
That's too much. I have dyslexia, so there's no way I'll be able to do it unless I switch to some kind of text-to-speech program software.
I understand. I do that sometimes.
Even for non-dyslexics, it's helpful.
Yeah,
that's what they say. Anyway, it helps everyone, so it's great. We have all these reasonable adjustments.
It's different. Reading and writing is different in your brain than talking. Perception.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Well, as I say, thanks a lot. It's really picked up a lot from here, and thanks for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom with us today.
My pleasure. Anytime.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website, davepamah.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Pamah Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.